Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today, in honor of this Civ matchup, I'll be preparing a savory Tuscan Piposo dish with a tasty Merlot to devour after I, of course, finish watching the Viper playing as the Italians in yellow take on Capoch playing as the Franks in red. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Italians very much a cost-cutting civilization. Their university techs are cheaper, advancing to the next age is cheaper, and their gunpowder units are, you got it, cheaper as well. Now, using all of these saved resources, where the hell's the Viper going? Looks like he's gobbled up a few of these geese, but sending them to Capoch, that's not, this level of gameplay is fun. This is something you don't see on the lower elo gameplay of, hey, I found your herdables, have them right back. I don't really need them. In any event, as I mentioned, the first of their two unique units is the Genoese Crossbowman, a pretty decent foot archer with a decent attack bonus against cavalry units. The second is the Condottiero, a quick-moving, tanky infantry unit with not only a massive plus 10 attack bonus against gunpowder units, but also added bonus armor against certain gunpowder units themselves. Then to make their units even tankier on the field of battle, all Italian foot archers, except for their skirmishers, and their condottieri can be upgraded to get extra armor. And speaking of condottieri, once you hit Imperial Age, you can begin training those out of your barracks. You do not need any special unique technology or upgrade. I'm thinking the Goths, I'm thinking the Huns. Unlike them, the second you hit Imperial, condottieri become available to you for free. Well, not for free, but you know what I mean. For free is the ability to train them from your barracks. Capoch pushing his Ibex here, playing as the Franks in red, the OG cavalry civilization, harkening back to the last century and the Age of Kings. Frankish knights come with extra line of sight. Their stables can be upgraded to work much faster, and all of their mounted units get more HP starting in the Feudal Age. And to support their heavy cavalry on the field of battle against pesky annoying things like pikemen and halberdiers, although not exactly going to see halberdiers out of our Italian because I believe they do not get halberdiers. So maybe against annoying things like pesky pikemen, well, the Franks can turn to their unique unit, the throwing axemen. This is a ranged infantry unit similar to the Malian Gabbeto we saw yesterday, whose range can be even further increased. That'll help you train as many throwing axemen as possible. Frankish castles do cost a lot less stone, 15% cheaper in Castle Age, 25% less stone in Imperial. That'll help feed a big militaristic population, get your army numbers up. Frankish foragers work a little bit faster than normal, and all mill upgrades are free of charge. So these are the two pretty cool civilizations we've got in front of us. One with a super fun, unique infantry unit. Well, actually super fun, unique infantry and archer unit. The Genoese Crossbowman, the Ninja Turtle, with that giant Pavese crossbow on its back, is a cavalry killing machine. That being said, it is going to be potentially, I was going to say possibly, but potentially is the better word, taking on cavalry with 20% more HP, which in Imperial Age, once that bonus really kicks in, could be very, very deadly, could offset the attack bonus. We'll see. Cavaliers, I believe, do come with 4 extra HP for the Franks compared to the usual 140. They have 144. And then I believe, what is it? 12 extra HP instead of 180, 192 HP on a Frankish paladin. Franks, of course, don't get bloodlines, which kind of makes their 20% extra bonus for their heavy cavalry like knights a little lackluster in Castle Age versus civilizations that do have bloodlines like the Italians. And what I mean by that is an Italian knight with bloodlines basically has the same HP as a Frankish knight without bloodlines. Although one does have to pay for bloodlines, one does not. So, as always in Age of Empires, not exactly a clear answer, not exactly a definitive answer, much like we don't actually have a definitive addition to this game with its wonky pathing and strange unit clumping and teleportation and units trying to run off the edge of the map. It looks like the Viper, who had discovered kind of where his opponent is now going to get discovered by his opponent, who not kind of knows where the Viper is. He knows exactly where the Viper is, discovering this Dark Age hut as the Viper now heads up to the Feudal Age about at the exact same time, actually. Maybe it looks like a split second ahead of Capoch. Neither of them with any kind of idle time or villager difference. And this is, I say this sometimes when you watch the Italians. if Capoch went up with 18 villagers paying the full 500 food, the Italians who only pay 425 food to go up could have easily gone up off of 17 villagers, but sometimes the players just get tunnel vision into their build orders. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that, as Capoch now begins exploring the guts of the base here. The Viper doing the exact same thing as well. Let's take a look at those bases. Although first, let's take a look at the attack path, which seems pretty damn short. Pretty open on the Viper's side, pretty closed off on Capoch's side, but man, what is this, like 10 tiles between the two bases? I also love that we've spawned on yet another map where 2/3 of it is completely useless, except for a few extra resource patches and relics and a nice little horse unit over there. But let's take a look. Our Frank, primary gold off to the side-ish. Nice and secure. Stone, not bad in the forward position, but already being used as part of a wall off here. Capoch taking the high ground. I like this. Although making stone gathering a little bit of a risky venture for these Frankish villagers. Berries off to the south. Extra stone to the south. So both stone patches kind of in the forward position and a little bit exposed, which is annoying. Not again that the Franks really need a lot of stone for their castles with their 15 and then 25% discount. Ooh. This palisade is nice and safe for now, but you're gonna have to deal with this skirmisher. Otherwise, he's gonna be able to poke and pick off the HP like nobody's business. The villagers, by the way, okay, now they can escape, right? No, now they can't escape. There's still 18 food on this beautiful lemon bush. But a relief force of Frankish light cavalry. This is where we get to see their extra HP now in Feudal Age. Instead of the usual 45 that comes in, they have 54, which does give them an early Feudal Age advantage over their opponents, since usually pro players don't spend the 250 resources that are needed for bloodlines immediately or at all. Why is this not connected here? Did he run out of wood? What happened there? But this is where the Franks have a little bit of an advantage in the early Feudal Age when it comes to their light cavalry play, which 9 extra HP does matter. I believe it means 1 more extra poke from a spearman. It means you can dive bomb underneath your opponent's town center a lot more readily. One villager derping out on synthetics as he gets pushed into the front lines. I don't want to go fight. I don't want to fight at all. But now he's a lumberjack. And the wall off is complete. Okay, so enough rambling. We got extra gold to the bottom right, extra gold to the top and left. But Capoch has kind of secured himself here. Again, coming under attack from ranged units, but these are skirmisher units. They are ballisticless, which means that most they'll poke off maybe, what, a third, a quarter of the HP of these villagers before Capoch shoves them into the rear of the base. Okay. Few kills here and there already. We're up to 2-1. And the battle is joined. 3-1 kills in favor of the Viper. And that's it. No more spearmen means that this Frankish army is going to be able to wipe the Italian off the face of the Frankish earth here. Although, wait a second. Numbers do go to the Viper here, who is perhaps overstaying his welcome, drawing town center fire. The chase was taken all the way to the center, then abandoned so that the scout can return and deal with these skirmishers. As long as they stay within the minimum range of the skirmishers, like I said, at most, they'll deal a little bit of HP damage. And there we go. Kill count 8-6. Capoch has secured his base. A nice little skill check there from the Viper. Could have done a lot of damage with those villagers stuck in between the berries. But our Frank pumping out a few of those scout units does save his settlement. The Viper now is walling in the north. Forget palisades, forget stone walls. Hey, I don't want to get housed ever again. I don't even know if this is fully walled in. There is a hill here, which always wreaks havoc on the ability to see whether or not it's walled in, right? There might be an alley between these houses. I'm sure the Viper, though, has dragged the palisade wall. Speaking of, he's beginning construction here. So let's take a look very quickly. Primary gold in the H or I shape, depending on which direction you tilt your head. And it might be the first villager kill here. Oh, but the Viper. Oh, the Viper wanted to do a fancy maneuver there, but ultimately does lose a villager. That was pretty damn cool, though. That was pretty damn cool. If Red didn't have that extra scout coming in from the right side, that villager would have been safe. Extra stone to the very, very back. Extra gold like Capoch pardon me, my goodness, primary stone like Capoch in the forward exposed position, and like Capoch also has a second patch of resources exposed. Villagers take matters into their own hands. They say, hey, we attack on a 3. We've got 40 HP, and you seem kind of weak to us, so why don't we just attack you nonetheless? And now the Spearman is left behind enemy lines. The Viper walling the rest of Capoch's army out, and now all of a sudden destroys his own wall, and the villagers taking matters into their own hands continue wreaking havoc on this Frankish army. Although, gotta be careful. Although both players gotta be careful. Capoch can't just hang out here with these skirmishers. With their 1 minimum range means that that villager could kill them easily. That being said, the Viper shouldn't be bringing a spearman to this battle. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. These skirmishers do come with an attack bonus, a pretty decently sized attack bonus, +3 against spearmen. +3 against a unit that only has 45 HP is pretty good in terms of an attack bonus. And now the chase begins here. The spearman should be able to catch up. I believe it moves a tiny fraction of a second faster. And then 2 pokes to the ass, and down goes the Frankish Expeditionary Force. The Viper, for his part, now wants to angle north, see if there's any way he can penetrate this base. Have we finished? Have I finished? He says we, as if you have any control over my rambling nonsense. Yeah, we saw the primary stone, the gold, the stone, and then an extra patch of gold off to the bottom right. We are going double archery play for our Italian, who currently has 0 archers on the field, and he's getting bloodlines. So here we go. If we pump out any kind of knights, how many stables are we working with here? Just the 1 stable. Our Frank, what are we working with here? 1 archery range, 2 stables. Okay, so our cavalry civ is going cavalry. Our cost-cutting, but kind of an archer civilization is going archers. I say archers just because one of their unique techs, Pavis, does mainly affect their archers. And generally with the Italians, you do see archers, and the Viper, not one to disappoint, is training 7 of them. The poor Italians, one of those civilizations whose like thalassocracy or thalattocracy, depending on where you grew up, their unique tech, Silk Road, doesn't really apply to a 1v1 Arabia game. I mean, I guess you could, in theory, build a dock here and start training trade cogs, but I don't know. Or I guess you could build a market and start building trade carts for half the price. But again, it's one of those civilizations whose unique techs are split between land and water. Whereas the Franks, they are full-on military unique techs. Bearded axe, chivalry. I'm gonna kill you faster with more units from further away, they say. Okay. Now it's the Viper's turn to lose his army on the other side of the map. A 3rd time somebody's lost an army this game, and oh my god. The Viper's ability to micro. And now Capoch loses his army on the other side of the map. Cavalry archers. Now here's the interesting thing about Frankish cav archers. They are mounted units, which means they do get 20% more HP. Similar to the Vietnamese. Anything that comes out of the Vietnamese archery range gets 20% more HP. Same with the Franks. Anything on a horse comes with 20% more HP. So they're not perhaps terrible in the Castle Age. They do avail themselves, I believe, of everything but Thumbring. Aside from that, they're pretty good. And Thumbring is generally, I mean, you see it sometimes, but not on the whole a lot. But 3 TCs for our Frank, who's at 50 villager population. 3 TCs for our Italian, who is at 44 villagers. So our Italian with a smaller economy, a bit more delayed to get up the villager numbers. And now he's going to have to deal with a bunch of cavalry archers as well. Cavalry archers, which, by the way, are going to just insert themselves willy-nilly into this base, because the Viper has made absolutely no effort to wall in the rear of his base. And so bent over and exposed, his rear end is here for the Frankish taking. But he's going to rely more on his innate I shouldn't say innate, his skills of walling off developed over years. It might be innate, actually. Who knows? I mean, that's the question, right? Michael Jordan practiced a lot, saw a lot of tape, but he had innate ability. He could read a game, just like Kobe Bryant, by the way, could read a game very well. He knew where everyone was, kind of like Messi, kind of like, you know, these superstars of every sport, kind of like Hera and the Viper, I think. So it's a mixture of innate abilities and just years and hours dedicated to sitting on your butt. My dad always used to tell me, if you want to be successful at anything, you need a big fat ass. And I didn't understand what he meant at first, and then he finally said, yeah, you have to sit and work. there are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in life. I guess there are shortcuts for some people, but not for most of us. And so you need a big fat butt to sit on, whether it's playing computer games or writing code or anything of the sort, studying. You got to sit on that badonk and earn it. 27 minutes into the game, our Italian is still down, but our Frank, he is housed, which is going to give our Italian a bit of an opportunity to catch up in the villager count, and he is catching up in the villager count. Skirmisher about to get got by Tony the Tiger, whereas to the north, oh, an opportunity here for the Viper, He's seen them. Go back to the bamboo. It's all about the bamboo. There we go. Where's the force to the south? There's nothing to the south. Oh, that could have been so much better for the Viper, so much worse for our Frank, although does lose one Cav Archer. And now the Italian is here with a little bit of high ground to the north initially. Okay, so the Viper is punishing this, making this pay. Now Tony the Tiger is attacking. Still a skirmisher. Monk to the south, Tiger dead. That could have been a lot worse. I mean, it could have been a lot worse / a lot better for whichever player you're rooting for. But it seems like Capoch is now housed. Oh no, what is going on? I was looking at the villager counts. He's down. Yeah, he was down like 5 or 6. Now he's back down to being down 9. He's back to being down 9. The Viper, though, has amassed quite a gigantic army of crossbowmen. Knight is chasing a monk that refuses to let go of the relic. And slowly but surely, it does look like the Viper is starting to wall off the base. A few idle villagers, a few idle crossbowmen, and actually a lot of idle villagers here for yellow. He is focusing primarily militarily, and another Tony the Tiger jumps in. How many clones of Tony the Tiger are going to be running amok this game? Looks like a scout killed a monk and then died. And how will Capoch respond to this? He's training absolutely no military. He's abandoning ship with a number of villagers. These are Bodkin crossbows. Do I still hear the freaking tiger? Come on. Kill this tiger already. There we go. These are Bodkin 7-range crossbowmen, so they can stand outside here with this 6-range TC and wreak a lot of havoc, or they can try to bust their way into here. They can walk their way into here. There's a lot that the Viper can do here since he has double the army count of his opponent. Picking off villagers is nice, and remember, these are Italian crossbowmen, which means the cost of ballistics is 2/3 of what it would normally be for everyone else. What if I highlight this? How come it doesn't show it here? I wonder if it shows it, yeah, there. Another battle rages to the center. The maneuvering of these cavalry archers has not been ideal for our Frank. I do apologize for missing the beginning of that battle. I was so focused on the cost of, I was so focused on the cost of ballistics that I missed ballistics being used in the game. I do apologize. Viper's crossbow count is up to 41. Where is the siege from our Frank? There it is, 2 mangonels. This is a ridiculous death ball out of our Italian. A death ball which in a few minutes, good conversion by the Viper. In a few minutes, if they survive, and they better survive. The Viper better not be taking any engagements in the next 2 minutes. Hit and run, baby. Needs to be the name of his game. These are going to be 43 Arbalesters. Now, our Italian needs to get a castle up so you can at least get Pavis. You can at least get some Genoese crossbowmen to deal with these knights a little bit better. They will come with a +5 attack and then +7 if and when they're elite. And here we go, thumb ring, leather, archer armor, our Frank, absolutely no upgrades. Why are you fighting next to mangonels? You're a minute away from Imperial. What the hell are you doing? Monk, not as successful this time, gets absolutely stampeded by the knights. And the Viper may have overextended. Now it's your turn. Shove yourself into a corner, delete this corner house and run away. No, you're going the wrong way. This is like that scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where John Candy and Steve Martin are driving, and John Candy falls asleep, swerves into the wrong lane of the highway, and there's this couple that is just yelling at them, "You're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way." Okay, 44 seconds away from Arbalesters. 44 seconds away from Arbalesters. No. Okay. Fantastic by the Viper, but now there's a second Mangonel. He splits up his units, only loses a few. Mangonel does more damage to the Knights, I feel like, but that's it. The Knights have closed. The Mangonels have done their job. They were a distraction all along, keeping the Viper steadfast and steady here on top of the hill, and he dies right as the Arbalester upgrade completes. What an whoa, Michael Jackson, dear much. What an absolute disastrous throw by the Viper there, losing 40 crossbowmen come Arbalesters. And now it is the Frank's turn to flex his muscle as he converts a knight, but then the monk that converted it dies to the Arbalesters. I can't get over what a huge throw that was. Look at the Viper. His army supply has just been, his army count has just been knocked down to a fifth of what it was. And now he's out here. Now he's in trouble. Now he's kind of scrambling around. Meanwhile, our Frank is also heading up to Italian. Oh my God, to Imperial. Our Italian is getting husbandry. Now the Italians do get hussars, which the Franks do not, which is a funny little quirk here. Missing black box. I love this new interface, by the way. Hussars. And there's the light cavalry upgrade. Now, of course, light cavalry upgrade is ridiculously cheap. 200 resources on the whole. Whereas the Hussar upgrade is ridiculously not cheap. 650 resources on the whole, I believe, right? 650? No, pardon me. Oh my goodness, I'm an idiot. Why did I... You know what? I added the 50... I added the 50 from the light cav. Oh no, and now sensing that he's got a bit of the momentum champing at the bit are these Frankish knights. By the way, speaking of having enough crossbowmen, oh baby, synchronized attack all day long. Speaking of having enough crossbowmen to upgrade them to Arbalesters in Imperial, our Frank has so many knights that he can upgrade into Cavaliers in Imperial, and dare I say, dare I pray and hope, Paladins. The Viper continues his villager killing onslaught, getting a 6th here. A few more farmers working very, very diligently. 3 Italian bombard cannons pop out. Remember, their gunpowder units are 20% cheaper, which for a unit that costs 450 resources is pretty good. The Viper spreads out. Outpost going up, outpost going up on the left front. Looks like a converted villager. But he split up a little bit too much. Huh. Bombard cannons have fallen. Counter castle is going up. Capoch's castle is very weak. That was a fantastic kill of the bombard cannons, as Capoch's castle is only at 260 HP. Now the knights are running amok. All of a sudden, this map has gone bonkers. It's gone Christmas tree. Everything is lighting up. More knights look like they've tried to kill. And it looks like Capoch is making the same exact mistake as the Viper made, which is risking his knights before they're upgraded. You could have waited. Now they're Cavaliers. And Paladin seems like a pipe dream with our Frank only having 100 gold, but never say never. This is still going up. Very cockily, by the way, going up as these villagers mining. Oh, we've seen this before. He's basically untouchable. Nothing will hit this villager. He's got his Dune-like shield. I don't care what else is happening on the field. What is going on with this game? Like I said, definitive edition, my ass. Now these arbalesters have shoved themselves in quite perfectly. But instead of deleting the university, Capoch just deletes a few palisades, now closes in on these arbalesters. We'll see at the same time, it looks like these cavaliers have wreaked a lot of havoc, done a lot of damage. Villager kill count, not that dissimilar, 25 to 21. But our Frank has killed a lot more, no surprise there. Did I just see a bomber cannon fire a ball at a cavalier? Yes, I did, and there he is. Frankish castle has been repaired. And things have died down. Oh man, when games get that crazy, that exciting, that quickly, it makes me nervous as a caster. And there we go, finally, Genoese crossbowman, +5 attack bonus against cavalry. Cavaliers split up. The Viper's going to try to save his bombard cannons a second time. He is going to fail a second time. As they absolutely overrun the position underneath the castle. They have overrun the army reinforcements to the south. Yeah, my butt cheeks just clench up so much when things get that crazy. I just try to capture as much as I can. Cavalier will die, maybe, maybe not. One more volley, one more volley. There you go. Counter castle going up. Capoch has seen this castle with that cavalier. The Viper has seen this castle with some unit. This villager, as he was walking by. And iron casting for our Frank, who is housed yet again at 185. But you know what? He's housed 40 population ahead of his opponent. Not that he knows that. And oh my god, a position that looked so secure for the Viper is now a major Achilles heel, a major weak spot. He's got no defensive structures here. These trebs are rolling forward. The better, stronger unit is for our Frank. And there are only 11 Genoese crossbowmen on the field, and reinforcing is going to be a nightmare. Look how far they have to walk from these two southern castles to the north. What an absolute weak spot there. Okay, a few light cavalry units, meat shielding for these Genoese crossbowmen, and the air long-range bombardment begins as Capoch begins tiefing the tertiary gold of his opponent. You are chasing you. Paladins. I spy with my very wide open eye. Paladins, oh, I want this game. Please, please do not GG any of these players. Please, no major confrontations or battle for the next 2 minutes. I'm, what's the word? Oh my goodness. The word is completely escaping my mind, as sometimes happens in the throes of Age of Empires passion. Supplanting myself, begging the Age of Empires gods. Elite Genoese crossbowman, paladin with blast furnace. We are gonna get to see the top of the line paladin in the game take on the top of the line paladin killing archer unit. There's Pavis. Do we have chivalry at least? We don't have anything. No bearded axe, no chivalry at all for our Frank. How many stables are we working with here? Only 6? Okay, so if he takes a terrible fight, Capoch is going to be in trouble. Not that I suspect he's going to take a terrible fight with 54 Frankish paladins. No, 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 no. 53 now. And he's abusing the slow-moving Ninja Turtle unit of the Italian. Now he's going after villagers. Another bombard cannon for the 3rd time this game. The Viper, oh, maybe not. Frank is defending his villagers from an Italian chevauchee down here to the south, and now we've got the paladins, but they're not clumped. They're not in the fist that they need to be to ram down the Viper's throat. Okay, he realizes that. Now he's heading north. Light cavalry be damned. What are you gonna do to me, he says, as the paladins all converge here to the north. Looks like Capoch has lost his forward treb, and here we go. Genoese crossbowmen +7 attack bonus against cavalry, but they're surrounded. 192 HP. Reinforcements. The Viper's got to hug his infrastructure real close right now. He is microing his heart out. It looks like a small battle to the center, small battle on the right side as well. Again, things are just lighting up like a Christmas tree. No gold mining for you. I'm not too sure what was happening here, but it looks like a few dead yellow bodies. More importantly, what the hell do you do against 46 Frankish paladins with your 11 Genoese crossbow. You pick him off one at a time and hope that that works. And the positioning of the castles here for the Viper, just very unfortunate when it comes to reinforcement. Again, you are way too far south. This one is decent. And actually, the firing on these paladins is not bad at all from the castle. The problem is the Viper is being overrun bit by bit, step by step. He's finally lost his expeditionary force of light cavalry, which means Capoch is free to focus on a full frontal mayhem destruction. 89, 91. Oh my goodness. We talk a lot in this game about what's the best raiding unit, what's the good raiding unit, which do you prefer attack over armor? Do you like this? Do you like that? When you're being raided by Frankish paladins, what the actual F do you do? Your light cavalry are not going to do shit here unless they're supporting your Genoese crossbowmen. And that's what you do. Holy moly. What an amazing game. He lost control of all. Did he have he had all 5 relics? Why did the Viper with 3,000 extra relic gold not have an army? And it all stems from this. The Battle of Slaughter Hill. All because of this. If the Viper had entered Imperial and had survived the first few minutes of Imperial, gotten those 40 crossbowmen to Arbalesters, then this game would be looking a lot different than it looked. He would have a very, very hard death ball to counter. Now, Frankish Paladin versus that would have been amazing, but look how long it took Capoch to get the Frankish Paladin. He would have needed a while. This is not an easy, cheap, or short path to go down, to go from Knight to Cavalier to Paladin. Knight to Cavalier, of course, anyone can do that. Well, I shouldn't say anyone. There are civs that can't. But the extra step of Paladins. So I think the Battle of Slaughter Hill here really shafted the Viper. And like I said, he should have moved this way, deleted this house, and snuck his units into the back. Or at the very least, parked them right here after he had sniped those 2 mangonels. But maybe that was too late by then. The Mangos had distracted him to the south. The Knights had closed from the east, and he lost all of his crossbows. And this is, again, a game where both players had their death balls entering into Imperial. One lost it, one didn't. And the one that didn't upgraded it later. Even though, look at how cool this is. The Paladin, poor horse, poor soldier, falling to their deaths. But falling amidst a whole slew of dead yellow bodies. My goodness, Genoese crossbowmen, bombard cannon, villager, light cavalry unit. There's so much dead here all over the place for our Italian. His base just got absolutely ransacked. It looks like something out of a novel, out of a movie. Got ransacked by pirates. And the Viper drops to, wow, exactly half the villager count. 68 to 136. 7 army count to 50. And it's not like 50... skirmishers. No. 38 paladins. Wow, what an amazing game. I'm glad it got into the late game. I'm glad Capoch waited those 2.5 minutes when I started begging and forgetting the words that were coming out of my mouth. Begging the Age of Empires gods to not let him take a fight like the Viper took up here. And he listened, got his paladins. Although it was a little dicey at first when he first went from Knights to Cavaliers. He shoved in very hard and then lost a bunch of Knights, but it doesn't matter. You've got map control. You're the Franks. You're getting gold to the back. You're getting gold from your opponent. You're getting neutral gold as well. You are getting gold left, right, and center. And let's take a look at the stats. Speaking of 125 Arbalesters, beautiful, but not against 167. Now, if you had 125 Genoese crossbowmen, things would look different. But as we saw earlier, the reinforcements from the Viper's 2 castles that were down south left the north so exposed. And now Frankish castles. How many Frankish castles do we have? 7 of them. 7 of them. Now, not all of them were Imperial, but a lot of them seem to be Imperial. And now there's literally nowhere that the Viper can go, because it's not like he's a fast raiding cavalry civilization himself. Where the hell are his Arbalesters going to go? They're going to have to go the long way around if they want to get any kind of damage done. And I love the outposts from both players. This is something we see more and more pro players do, which is absolutely fantastic. PKPM of mamma mia for both players, over 200, 35 minutes in, 29 minutes in. So fairly similar. I like, by the way, that, where is it? Oh my God, how do I go back? I love that after the knight play, the other is just whatever. I don't even know why he went cavalry archers. I don't know what the point of that was. I don't understand why he wasted time. But I'm glad that that stopped, and I'm glad the Viper may have shot himself in the foot by killing those cavalry archers so nicely, by the way, as they were running around the map, and that forced or maybe made Capoch decide to go the knight route. And to be fair, aside from Genoese crossbowmen, like I mentioned earlier, without halberdiers, I mean, the ability of the Italian to take on a paladin, it really does rely on their Genoese crossbowmen with that +7 attack. And Genoese crossbowmen rely on castles, and unfortunately not that many castles. Economically, wow, about 8,000 apart. And if you remove the gold, the 3,000 relic golds, it gets even better for our Frank. So he took all of the resources except for wood. Well, not surprising for our archer player, but everything, a lot more food, a lot more gold. I mean, the Viper just didn't mind anything this game. He mined 8,000 gold to the almost 18,000 gold of his opponent. Wow, our Frank mined almost 10,000 more gold when you remove the relic gold. Wow. And our Frank going heavy on the stone as well. Conversions, can't really see them being that high. 5-2, raising 16-2, of course. And wow, let's take a look at the kill count. I'm saying wow a lot just because this game was so much fun. Anytime you see Frankish Paladins, it's a good day. 210 to almost 400 kills. Well, there you go. One unit with insane armor and 200 HP versus another unit with very little HP. I mean, the Arbalests are very little HP as well, and it doesn't come with any attack bonuses that are relevant against the Paladin. And almost three times the villager kills for Capoch. Although, let's take a look at the map and see when exactly that yellow line shat the bed. Oh yeah, look at that. Twice. Once here. And then womp. Look at that. Wow. And what an absolute titanic game. Like I said, this is going to be one of those games where the Viper's like, ooh, if I had only kept these units alive, I could have had 50 plus Arbalesters. And what the hell would my opponent do against 50 plus Arbalesters that have Pavis, so they have extra +1/+1 armor? What the hell could he have done against that? The answer is not a whole lot, not with those knights that he had. And unfortunately, the Viper did lose those, and since that point, the game has basically been under Capoch's command. He dictated the terms, as generally happens with a cavalry civilization versus a slower bipedal civilization. And kudos to the Viper for trying to get up to Hussars, but as we saw, as I made the mistake, that upgrade is not cheap. Instead of 500 food, my brain did 50 food from the I don't know why I did that, because sometimes my brain does brain farts, as anyone who watches the channel knows. But ultimately, the Paladin push prevails, and look at the Italian base. It is lit up like a Christmas tree. Plebs, villagers are dying everywhere. There is not enough military to protect them. The castles are too far and few between, and no murder holes for them also means that these Paladins can just close in and basically hug them until they die. And with that hugging with the Frankish Paladin tank unit, it is Capoch, our Frank, who takes the W, but GG in an incredibly fun game to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.